It's time for Football Friday, sponsored by South Dakota State, South Dakota Department of Health, and Dakota Bank.
You're watching Football Friday on Dakota News Now.
Nice job by the Faulkton cheerleaders today. We had a crazy busy day today.
Sure has.
We are actually past the halfway point for Football Fridays. In fact, some teams have now played 75% of their regular season games. Glad you could join us tonight. I'm Mark Ovenden along with Cooper Seamer and Joseph Lemelin. We've got another night of lots of highlights.
For sure. We'll recap games from South Dakota, Iowa, where West Lyon's only given up one score in 4 games, and in Minnesota, they're playing for bragging rights between Luverne and Pipestone.
Yeah, the battle axe game. We start, though, with the high-flying Lincoln Patriots, who were tested last week by Jefferson. They took on Washington tonight out at Howardwood Field. Late start. I was out there, barely got in because of the crazy traffic with the rodeo, but I got in time to get 2 quick touchdowns, and now watch this catch. Woo! Jace Woods, one of the catches of the year. He's our cover kid, and Washington leading 14-6. They're not done. Hunter Sayasavan, touchdown pass to Sam Ewing. It's 21-6 Warriors in the second quarter, but you know who's not going to let his team down. This guy, Brody Schaefer, a 60-yard scramble, leads to a short touchdown run, and they have taken the lead late in the third quarter, but it's still close. 26-24 Lincoln in the third quarter is your score. Wow, it's actually just starting the fourth quarter.
We'll go to the first game at Howard Wood. It was number 3 Jefferson against 5th-ranked O'Gorman. The Knights will strike first in this one. Chase Hermanson is going to look for a screen pass. He'll hit Jack Stocklin on that screen pass, get some blockers, and now it's a foot race down the sideline, and Stocklin is going to win. 66 yards to the house, and the Knights, they lead 7-0. It'd be 7-2 when the Cavs would strike. Carson Mediger finds Jace Unzen in a tight window. A 4-yard score. Cavs lead 9-7. They get to the end zone again. This time it's Davian Simonson with the rock for an 8-yard score. He just runs so hard. And Jefferson leads 16-7. O'Gorman, though, won't go away. Hermanson finds Jace Muller. He twists his body for that catch and score. It'd be 16-13 Cavs. But O'Gorman spoils homecoming. They defeat Jefferson 32-29.
With a late field goal, by the way. That's how it was won. The second-ranked Lynx of Brandon Valley made the long trip to Rapid City to take on the Cobblers of Rapid City Central, who would actually get into the end zone on this run by Wylan Benbow. He's really a pretty good player, but that would be their only celebration of the night because the Lynx, they can do it on the ground. They proved tonight they can throw it in the air, too. Jake Halseth getting the ball out to Jonah Jewell. Makes the catch, takes it for a gain of 19. This is going to be Camden Kristen, takes the handoff and scores 53-7. The Lynx got a lot of guys in this game tonight, and they win by 46.
Well, the Tigers of Harrisburg are ranked 4th in 11 AAA, and tonight they hosted Rapid City Stevens. It's homecoming at Harrisburg. Beckett Paulson dumping it off to Josiah Hines, looking to make a show, and Stevens' defense cannot catch up to him. 43 yards down the sideline, and he is into the back of the end zone. And they go back to the air for the Tiger offense. Paulson this time finding Chris Simonek. He's over the middle, and that's a 6 yards. 6 points there on the score. It'd be 14-0, and Harrisburg dominates on homecoming. They'll end up winning 49-0 over Stevens.
All right, your scores again in 11 AAA. Lincoln on top in the fourth quarter. Brandon Valley, O'Gorman in a thriller, and Harrisburg all victorious. To Class 11 AA in Crane Youngworth Field, where the top-ranked Bucks hosting number 3 Pierre. The Govs have won 7 of the last 8 state titles. Pick up first quarter action. Bucks smelling pay dirt. Carson Crawl with a touchdown. It's 7-0 in favor of Yankton. Watch Caleb Lounsbury throw it, and it's going to be high-pointed. Ooh. Great pick by Cale Hasselhorst, who makes a tremendous run back. Gets it deep into Pierre territory, and Jay Sedlacek is going to take it and just bulldoze his way into the end zone. Look at him put his shoulder down, get out of his way, or you're going to get hurt. Pierre would make a late rally. Carter Merrill is going to score. They could not get close enough in what turned out to be a thriller, though. 35-28. Number 1 beats number 3. More scores in 11 AA. Huron wins again. Springfield's a pretty good team.
Yes.
How about those Tigers? They're the Cinderella story of the year. Aberdeen beats Sturgis, and T-Area squeaks by Mitchell on homecoming. Up next, more 11-man highlights, including what we thought might be the game of the night in Madison. We'll see how Sioux Falls Christian felt about that.
You're watching Football Friday, sponsored by South Dakota State, South Dakota Department of Health, and Dakota Bank.
And just a quick hi to my brother Jeff, who's here from Ohio. He was pumped to watch this. He's heard all about our shows.
Well, hi, Jeff.
Yeah. We had one of those great matchups tonight, Jeff, in Class 11A in Madison. We talked about that on Calling All Sports today. Sioux Falls Christian against the Bulldogs of Madison, and 1 against 2. Would this be a classic matchup? Sioux Falls Christian says, I don't think so. Jensen Pixler barrels into the end zone. It's a 19-yard touchdown. It's 7-0. Second quarter, Cooper Strandy to Nicholas Popkeys over the middle. It's a 21-6 lead. And then Strandy before halftime to Brant Wassner. Mom's pretty happy with that, the volleyball coach. He takes it in for the touchdown. It was all Chargers in this one. 42-6. Yes, they are number 1.
They are number 1 for a reason. Another big game between ranked teams in Del Rapids tonight, where the third-ranked Warriors hosted number 5 Tri-Valley. Mustangs came into this with a perfect 4-0 record, and they show why early on. Brady Jewett, a pass here finds Landon Reiser, and that'll make it 6-0. Later in the second quarter, Del Rapids looking to respond. This is Carson Pay. He picks off that ball. That's going to get great field position for the Warriors. And then, of course, what do you do when you're that close? You give it to Ryan Stubbe.
Yep.
Why not? He's going to barrel his way into the end zone. And Del Rapids, this thing would go close all the way to overtime, but the Warriors get the job done, 22-14.
And now we go to Canton, where the Seahawks hosted number 4 West Central. The Trojans shut down Lennox last week in a tight defensive battle. They were looking to improve to 4-1 tonight. The Seahawks had an opportunity to score first. We're going to start at the opening kickoff. Canton trying to do a little handoff here, but they lose the football. The Trojans score on the very next play. Seahawks keep the action rolling. Third play of the game. Exact same play, except this time the handoff is gonna work out. Aiden Schremp off to the races. He would even this game up. Again, third play of the game, 2 scores in 3. Still the first quarter, still tied. Wyatt Greenwood fights for the interception and comes up with it. Seahawks win the battle and took the lead, but West Central wins the war. They go on to score 30 unanswered points, winning 41-19.
Fool me once, can't get fooled again.
No kidding. Look at that. West Central 41-19. There's your Del Rapids and your Sioux Falls Christian wins. We had a lot of ranked teams playing each other in 11A tonight.
Well, to 11B now, the Huskies of Elk Point Jefferson have rolled their way to the top spot, and they look to continue the domination at Beresford against the Watchdogs. Very first play for EPJ. This one's a doozy. Bo Schmitz with the rocks. He's going to find a hole through that defense, zipping down the sideline, and a 72-yard touchdown later. The Huskies lead 7-0. Beresford would work their way down to the red zone to try a field goal, but it's blocked. This is recovered by Anthony Tatro, and he's off to the races too.
Oh, no.
68 yards from where the kick was, and EPJ leads 13-0, 1 offensive play in the first quarter. And they continue with the big plays. Schmitz again with the ball, and he's going to run so hard here, shaking off defenders, and he's going to work his way down into the red zone. They'll eventually score on that drive, and EPJ takes another win, 49-14 over Beresford.
They can run the football
hard
right down your throat. When they beat Winter, they never passed. Not once.
Not once.
Wagner upset by Woonsocket, Weston Springs, Sanborn Central, 13-6. St. Thomas More and Mobridge Pollock were big winners tonight. All right, up next, we've got 9-man highlights. When Football Friday returns, we'll take you to Parkston and have lots more highlights too. Stay with us. And welcome back to Football Friday. We are in the 9-man ranks now with a big rivalry game. And usually these are slobber knocker games. Not tonight.
Not tonight, though, no. It was Bonhomme at number 5 Parkston, and what is always a battle. It's one of the best battles, I think, in South Central South Dakota. Well, it happened at O'Gorman last week for our photographer, Dave Houck. It happened for a second week in a row. This is Trojans kicking off to Bonham, and this is Titan Ronick, the freshman, picking up the ball at the 15. and he is off to the house. The opening kickoff return for a score, but Parkston wouldn't let him get away with that one for too long here. We'll get ahead to a little bit. This is Gage Reichert here taking the handoff here. He'll make some space going around the end zone, around the end into the end zone, and that puts Parkston up 8-6 in the first quarter. Wouldn't get any closer though. Parkston ramping up on the ground again. Mason Jervik scoring on this 16-yard run here. Puts his head down and bullies his way into the end zone there, and Parkston runs away big, 70-21.
See, well, that's what I meant. Usually those scores are 8-6.
Yeah.
70-21. Hamlin 55-zip, and Hill City leading in the fourth quarter. A couple of teams had byes tonight. To Class 9A, where the Wall Eagles have been occupying that top spot most of the season. Tonight, we got a game from Wall for you. How's that? They hosted Stanley County, the Buffaloes, on Buffalo Roundup Day, trying to remain undefeated, and boy, they would do that. Tanner Vollmer on the first play of the game, 41 yards for the touchdown. Then Vollmer throws one downfield where Thielen Kerstead hauls it in, and Wall is up 22-0 at that point. Then they show off the running game. They can do it all. Vollmer pitching it on the option at the very last second to Jace Moore, and they score more on this play. Nice play.
Really the last second.
56-6 in favor of the Eagles as they win big. Warner also wins big along with Alcester, Hudson, and Platte Geddes.
Well, to the Gary Cunningham Complex in Faulkton, where the 5th-ranked Trojans hosted the top team in 9B, the defending state champs of the Chargers of Sully Buttes. First quarter here for Sully Buttes. Caden Westergren is going to get the handoff, go up the middle, and he's gone for a 51-yard score. It's 8-0 Sully Buttes. And then they'll get it down on the quarterback handoff as well. It's Wesley Whitler faking the handoff, going around, making a couple tacklers miss, and that is a 39-yard score. A little bit of flair at the end there. 14-0 Sully Buttes, and Whitler throws the Easton Moore for a short touchdown. They lead 22-0. Faulkton area battles back, but Sully Buttes hangs on to win. Your final score, 30-22.
They actually came back to tie it before Sully Buttes won it.
Well, Buttes coming through for that one. Now we're going to go back to Dell Rapids in the first game of the day for another team that has been dominating most of the fall. The 3rd-ranked Cardinals of Dell Rapids St. Mary's hosted Iroquois-Lake Preston in the 4:30 game. DRSM up 8-0 in the first quarter. Tremere Hansen keeps it himself and takes it down the line. His second touchdown of the first quarter here, 16-0 after another successful two-pointer. This game was all Cardinals. Their rushing game dominated, but they aired it out as well. Logan Bauer, the long receiving touchdown. Final score 78-24 in favor of the home team. 5-0 through the first batch of their games.
Yeah, when I checked on the score in the second quarter, it was 78-16. They are really good. And finally tonight, Sioux Falls Lutheran lost in overtime last Friday night, but the Eagles still went after their 4th win today against perennial powerhouse Canistota. And keep in mind, they didn't win a game in their first season last year. Rowan Becker to Abbott Moeller makes it 8-0. But then another one of those crazy plays. We had one last week at Coleman Egan. Watch this. They field the kickoff, and he doesn't usually field the kickoff, and he fumbles. Okay? Play is not over. Watch Kamarian Garcia scoop it up, and he is gone. I think he had 4 touchdowns in the game. Yes, I got it. The guys were all wondering, did you get that? I wasn't sure, but number 7 takes it the length of the field, and they win 44-0. They are now 4-2. Let's check out the 9B ranked teams and see that Sully Buttes, Dell Rapids St. Mary, Ipswich. That does not surprise me. The Tigers are good. All right, up next, bragging rights on the line in Pipestone, plus highlights from unbeaten and almost unscored upon West Lyon are next. And welcome back to Football Friday as we head to West Lyon, where those Wildcats of Jay Roseboom have given up just 6 points all season. Did they let somebody score tonight?
We'll have to find out. They're defending state champs, and they're playing like a team on a mission this year as they hosted Hinton tonight. Easton DeYoung rolling out, fitting it perfectly through a pair of defenders, giving Jordan Meyer there for 6. and they weren't done yet. DeYoung dropping back a bit later and tosses another dime, and guess who it is? It's Meyer again down the sideline, able to hold on to that hit there. Another score for him. Few plays later, and DeYoung able to take it in for another score, so that led to the score. They did give up a touchdown, but they ended up winning 48-7.
What a year they're having. All right, lots at stake tonight. Parker was live at 6 o'clock talking about this thing right there. That's the battle axe. Every year, Pipestone and Luverne play for the right to keep that for a year. And this game was in Pipestone tonight, and Caden Zephyr finding room, and he goes for the touchdown. The student section's pretty fired up about that. The Arrows have the lead, but the Cardinals would respond with a big drive of their own. Jaden Johnson, he's going to punch it in, and Luverne takes the lead with a 2-point conversion. However, Pipestone proved to be too tough tonight. Austin Mush with a 7-yard strike to Caden White, and they win it. 20-16 was your final in favor of Pipestone. All the scores from Iowa, Minnesota, and South Dakota on our website tonight. Great show.
It was a great show. Great another week.
Thanks for watching, Jeff, and everybody else. Have a great weekend.